Guys, what's going on? My name is Luis, and God bless every single one of you. Today is November 13, 2023, and welcome to the Grand Supreme News Channel. Alright guys, so we have some urgent information coming out. If you can, please share this video. And just looking at this, not looking good. So it says here, a conflict broke out between the sleeping giant and the Holy Land over the handling of Mr. Benjamin and his war council in the matter of Hezbollah. Now, the sleeping giant intervened several times, asking the Holy Land not to escalate with Hezbollah and keep the agreement. Now, the sleeping giant defense secretary expressed concern to his Holy Land counterpart on Saturday about the Holy Land role in escalating tensions along the border between the Holy Land and Lebanon. All right, we're going to see what's going on here, guys. And we do have more breaking news update. Sleeping giant base hit again. Now, I'm just going to read this part right here. I'm not going to show you guys because the platform is being really strict here. So there was a large strike reported against the sleeping giant forces. And you guys already know this happened at SYRIA. All right, so at least 6 explosions are said to have been heard in the direction of the base. 6 massive explosions near the base. And yes, the sleeping giant boots were in that area. Now you guys already know, I already talked about the bird that went down. We're talking about the helicopter. There were sleeping giants in there. Sleeping giants are being impacted. So please continue to pray for the sleeping giants out there. I mean, it's really tough. It's really tough out there. And the NEWS is not putting out the information. So we're going to see what's going on in this one here, guys. I just posted a video not too long ago about UKR and the bear. That link will be in the comments box. You guys need to check out that video. It seems like, you know, UKR is going to have to give up some land, some territory for peace. And so it seems like UKR is not going to be the trending or the main event or whatever. This is the big one right here. The sleeping giants are not going to be sending a whole bunch of funds to UKR. So that link will be in the comments box, and they're trying to work some kind of agreement with the bear and try to kind of end the biblical war. So the link will be in the comments box if you guys want to check it out. It says here, meanwhile, the sleeping giant State D spokesman said to Benjamin, what? Hold on, give me a second. Meanwhile, the sleeping giant State D spokesman said Benjamin has made comments that are different from the vision that Tony laid out, both when we were in the region and afterwards in Tokyo. Look at that. So Benjamin is not going by the sleeping giant. Benjamin is like, yeah, you know, he's not here, so he's not the boss. I do what I want to do. So the sleeping giant is not pleased. The sleeping giant is not pleased with Benjamin. Wow. All right, so this is big breaking news here. So some in the Mr. Byrne administration are concerned that the Holy Land is trying to provoke Hezbollah and create a pretext for a wider biblical war in Lebanon that could drag the sleeping giant and other countries further into the conflict, says sources familiar with a situation. Ooh. It seems like Benjamin is saying, I'm bringing everybody in. I'm bringing everybody into this arena. The arena, where the barbarians and gladiators go at it. You guys already know in Rome, they had that big arena, where, you know, people go, and way back in those days, they had that, and it's still around too. They had lions, they had a whole bunch of stuff going on there, barbarians going at it. So it's like Benjamin is bringing everybody in there. The sleeping giant is saying, hey, 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 not like that. Not like that, Benjamin. So it is no coincidence that today, the Holy Land foreign minister stated in a press briefing that Holy Land has international legitimacy for another 2 to 3 weeks in the Strip. So we feel that there is international pressure on the Holy Land. It is not strong, but it is getting stronger. Earlier, the Holy Land media reported that K members and Likud ministers are discussing the possibility of removing. They want to remove Benjamin through a VOTE of no confidence. Wow. Information's coming out today. Holy Land are saying that these members discuss the possibility of removing Benjamin. Breaking the sleeping giant state D spokesperson says Benjamin has made comments that are different from the vision Tony laid out. Remember, Tony was there not once, he was there twice. Tony was there twice. He visited the Holy Land twice. The Holy Land said that the war with Hellsbow is inevitable. So the reason for the intense intervention of the sleeping giant was the information that was circulating throughout the weekend, and which was preparing the people of the Holy Land for a generalized biblical war with Hellsbow. The Holy Land defense officials say that the Holy Land is in perfect position to go to biblical war against Hellsbow. Now, the head of the ID Blank emphasized for his part that the army is prepared with operational plans on the Lebanon front, while the Holy Land NEWS, such as Channel 13, reported the assessment of the Holy Land services that a biblical war in the north against Hellsbow is inevitable. We are intensively preparing operational plans for the northern front, Lebanon, and our boots on the northern area have been put on high alert, according to the Holy Land intelligence. Yeah, they really want to remove Benjamin. So according to the Holy Land intelligence, anti-tank incident in this region and the shootings that continue today show an increasing escalation in the northern area. Now, despite the high number of Hellsbow casual, so far, the Holy Land Army sees a qualitative improvement curve in the target of the anti-tank units sent by Hellsbow leader. Now, this is a continuation of a massive escalation on the northern, and the question is, when will the explosion point be reached? The incidents in this region develop into a series of chain armed incidents with heavy forces strikes on Lebanon soil. There are constant debates in the Holy Land defense establishment about whether it is right to change the current method and logic of action as Hellsbow escalates its actions. Now, the growing possibility of an escalation leaves the Holy Land in a quandary over whether and when to shift from focusing on Strip to prepare for a conflict with Hellsbow. All right, so you guys already know, and I posted a video yesterday that the Holy Land are telling residents out there in Hellsbow to move north. It seems like there's a lot of stuff going on right now. Some in the Mr. Byrne administration are concerned the Holy Land is trying to provoke Hezbollah and create a pretext for a wider biblical war in Lebanon that could draw the sleeping giant and their country further into the conflict, according to sources briefed on the issue. The growing assessment in the Holy Land military, the biblical war in the north against Hezbollah is inevitable. Channel 13 urgent announcement. They are the one that's putting out the information. Austin warned Gallant about the Holy Land military actions in Lebanon. The sleeping giant defense secretary expressed concern to his Holy Land counterpart about the Holy Land role in escalating tensions along the border between Holy Land and Lebanon, according to 3 Holy Land and Sleeping Giant sources. Now, Mr. Austin message to Gallant reflected growing concern in the WH that the Holy Land military action in Lebanon is exacerbating tensions along the border, which could lead to regional event. Some in Mr. Byrne administration worry that the Holy Land is trying to provoke Hezbollah and create a pretext for a wider biblical war in Lebanon that could draw the sleeping giant and other lands further into the conflict, according to sources briefed on the matter. The Holy Land official denied this. So, can Benjamin possibly try to get the sleeping giant involved so that the sleeping giant could finish those group once and for all? And one thing I tell you guys, the Holy Land is really tiny red dot in the Middle East compared to a huge amount of land that is being run by Arab. God is there for the Holy Land. That one little dot that the Holy Land has, that one little piece of land, again, Israel. So for Benjamin to run towards sleeping giant for help, Benjamin should be running and seeking for God's help and praying. So all this here is going to lead to a huge event of Bible prophecy. We're talking about nation against nations here. So a sleeping giant source said that the WH had asked Austin to express his concern to Gallant about the event of the Holy Land military action in Lebanon. The sleeping giant said Austin stressed the need to contain the conflict in the Strip and avoid regional escalation, without specifically mentioning Lebanon. However, 2 sleeping giant and the Holy Land sources familiar with the communication said it was a very direct and frank conversation, and Austin specifically mentioned concerns about the Holy Land military action in Lebanon. A Holy Land source said Austin sought clarification from Gallant about Holy Land airstrike in Lebanon and asked Holy Land to avoid step that could lead to an all-out biblical war between the Holy Land and Hezbollah. Once again, Gallant told Austin that Holy Land policy is not to open a second front in Lebanon, and stressed that he did not believe such a scenario would occur, the Holy Land source said. Gallant also added that Hezbollah was escalating its strikes, including a drone from Syria on a city of this territory 350 miles away from Hezbollah. 350 miles away. Now, Hezbollah is playing with fire, Gallant said in Austin. According to the Holy Land media, Mr. Byrne administration is pushing the Lebanon, Gov, and other regional powers to do everything they can to prevent Hezbollah from joining the biblical war. Mr. Byrne's senior advisor traveled to Lebanon last week and strongly warned Hezbollah through Lebanon parliament speaker, and other Lebanon officials not to escalate the situation. A source with direct knowledge of the matter said, man, this thing is getting huge. What do you guys think? This here has to be the biggest headache for the sleeping giant ever since 2001. And wow, hmm. So during the visits, I'm gonna skip that name. That person reiterated that the sleeping giant does not want to see the conflict in the strip spill over into Lebanon, and that restoring calm along the Holy Land Lebanon border must be the highest priority for both Lebanon and for the Holy Land. Mm-mm. Mr. Barron administration was concerned by two incidents that could pressure Hezbollah to respond in a way that could significantly widen the conflict with the Holy Land, according to the Holy Land source. It is the first incident in a Holy Land strike hit a car in South 11, taking out one and three of, oh man. Ugh. It took days for the Holy Land military to recognize it. And my condolences and prayers to the families and friends that lost their loved ones. The second incident occurred on a Saturday before the call between Austin and Galan, when the Holy Land military carried out a drone about 25 miles north of the border. It was the biggest in-depth strike in Lebanon since the start of the biblical war. Mr. Byrne administration officials are also concerned about Galan's public blank against Hezbollah, and believes those blank only heighten tensions, the Holy Land source said. The Holy Land press recalls at this point that several days after the event of biblical war, Gallant and several senior ID blank wanted to carry out a broad preemptive strike against Hezbollah in Lebanon. Mr. Burns says the strip Hasp, encircled by the Holy Land forces, must be protected, calls for less intrusive action against the groups. Once again, the ID blank said that the army has occupied plans to change the security situation in the north. Just in, the ID blank is sending reinforcement to the territory with Lebanon. Well, another day, another page, a Bible prophecy. The sleeping giant seems like they're very concerned now. The sleeping giants, they're telling the Holy Land, pause right now. If you guys keep going in this direction, you're gonna be dragging us now. You're gonna be dragging us into this biblical event. Once again, very, very huge breaking news situation between the Holy Land and the sleeping giant over the handling of Benjamin and his war council in the matter of Hezbollah. Seems like it's out of hand now. I would keep it updated on this story, guys, but yeah, it seems like, I don't know, it seems like Benjamin really wants to drag the sleeping giant in this one here. And poor Mr. Z, the leader of the Yellow Blue Country, is saying, give us credit, please. Give us the credit, and then we will give you the money after we are done with the WAR. And this is where we are right now, guys. The hearts of many are just focused in all these events. It's very important to stay in prayer, because all this is going to lead towards a huge event, a Bible prophecy that the Bible speaks about when spoken of peace and security. Sudden destruction shall follow. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Once again, for those of you that want to give your life to Christ, you can email me. My email is in the description box. Me and my wife are here to help many and to lead many to the righteous path, and that's the path of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, Luis Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put your faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for he's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father but through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.